Hi everyone, this is Revin and back for a new video. Well, I wanted to try something different. Well, I have to be frank, I didn't check if there is something similar that has been done. I wouldn't be surprised because I haven't with this video invented the wheel. Probably someone have done it before. I have over 700 titles on my Kindle. So let's just say that I have a lot of books that I want to go through and read. All of them that I have are an interest of mine. Before getting them, I heard about the storyline, but the majority, like 98% of them, 99% of them, it's been a while that I have them. Let's just say that there are good chance, like good chance that I forgot really what this is all about. So the idea, the practice, the funny thing that I have was to try to guess the story from the cover. I selected a wild variety of covers. They are placed in categories inside my Kindle, like mystery or thriller or romance or whatever. Only for the practice and the funny. I'm only going to look at the cover. Obviously, there are a few covers existing that have been created. I'm going to use the one that I have at the moment in Kindle. So I'm using the front cover, the design. I'm not going to use the name of the author, but the title, the subtitles, or anything that has been or is featured on the cover, I'm going to use it. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to let it sink in. And I'm going to give you two different possible stories. And then I'm going to go read the book, obviously, and see how close or how far I am from really the storyline of the book. I have 93 titles that I put at the moment in this TBR, and there is really a mix of genre, but few of them are titles that they are like for the longest time. I have 11 rows in that direction, and I have 9 columns on that one. So let's go to the generator. I'm going to go with the rows first. So I have 1 to 11. And okay, number 4 has been picked up. And I'm going to do now for the top. Number 2. So 4 and 2. Okay, so it's a murder mystery, Murder at the University by Faith Martin. And we're going to go back because I've decided I'm going to read 3 books for that specific TBR. 1, 11, the rows 10, and the columns 5. So 10, 5. Witch dust. So there is a witch thing and there is a murder mystery with the university. Interesting. Let's see for the third one. I'm generating another number 4 like this. And this is going to be 6. To coach a killer instead of to catch a killer by Victoria Laurie. Those are the 3 books that I have the challenge from the cover to guess the story. So the story. We have a middle grade, a young girl, 11, 12 years old, max, I would say, that she receives for her birthday, which is happening on October 31st. Great night. A snow globe. That particular snow globe with the mention inside. And it's because she loves snow globes, so there's a very good reason why she's receiving it. And she is very much fond of it, blah, blah, blah. She's just gonna ask, her parents or grandparents, um, what kind of material they're using to make the snow inside the snow globe. Out of curiosity, she's asking what's the liquid that they're using, what kind of material, is it in plastic inside? So she has some questions. She's very curious. And they're going to say that they don't really know, but if she looks online, she's going to find the information. She's searching online and she is finding, depending on the theme, the craftsmen's before they are using a specific name. And for snow globe like hers, it will be called a witch dust. And she find it very, very fascinating. And she wants to learn more about that. So she's looking at the house all the time, and she's, you know, turning over to keep the witch dust falling over the house. At some point, one night, not long after her birthday, and that she has all of this information, she's gonna realize that even if it has, even if she doesn't shake up of or turn on the other side, the globe, the witch dust keep falling down. And she's going to be intrigued because it's obviously it's not possible to happen. So she wants to know what happened. Where does that come from? The first floor that showcase some lights inside the house, they will start to flicker inside. So at first she thought that, okay, there is, battery problem, whatever, something like this. But she's gonna see that it's gonna shut down in one of the room, the house. On the first floor, it's gonna be lighting inside a specific room, and then it's gonna be like, oh, that is not possible. So she will want to she wants to know what is going on. There is some kind of a repeat pattern where the lights flashing at different places, and she remembered Morse code. So she's gonna pick up a book or online, whatever that will be, and she's gonna decipher what it means. And she's gonna realize that actually the house inside the snow globe, and it has been trapped, cursed inside the snow globe. Man, like the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean, the movies, it's like the same idea that everybody's inside the house are alive, and it's just like something magical and creepy. So she wants to find a way to free them and to get the story of what happened, and that it's going to be fascinating. So that's going to be one story. The other storyline that obviously I don't know if it is or not. Some paths are best left unfollowed. We are at the end of October, the beginning of November, but the owner of the house, they are always starting to decorate Christmas, to put Christmas decorations super early, because you can see in the picture there is nothing Halloweeny. I don't know why I want to say a young man, but like in his 30s, his car is falling down. It seems to be broken, not far on the countryside on the road. And so he's picking up his backpack because he has planned for the weekend to go in an Airbnb into the area, because he doesn't have any signal, any cell phone signal. He can call for anyone. He's walking along the road, and then he starts to see that specific mansion, that house. And it's very much above the house that there is what looks like some snow falling over that mansion. Not much beyond this, which is weird, but climate change, it's a good excuse for many things. So he really needs, and when he sees the lights, so he sees that there are people inside. So he's getting into the house, very much intrigued by the decoration, but whatever, people do whatever they want. And he's going to ask if he can use their phone or cell phone, hopefully with some reception, and make a phone call for the car, and ask if they would agree, the people who are living there, if he can stay in their house until the a repair truck or something is coming in for his car. This is where you have some paths are best left unfollowed, because he shouldn't have go into that house. He's not gonna understand, measure how much trauma is going to happen for him. So it is more like a paranormal, but more like a dark horror story. Yeah, this is the best that I can. Sorry, this is the best that I can give you in a few short minutes. I cannot create the whole plot. Come on, don't ask for too much. Okay, I started the witch hunt. Witch hunt. Wow, witch dust. It's it's funny because I first had in mind witch hunt, and immediately I said that don't say that, don't say that. That's not the right title. And what do I say? Under 30%. It's kind of going fast. It's 260 pages, I think, so it's not gonna be a big one. Thank you. So it's happening in England. I don't know, I think she's under 30 years old. Her name is Serenissima, but short Sandra. Her parents are in the magic business, but magic like prestidigitation. Is it even the same word in English? Magic tricks, but like big scale magic trick, and they are super international famous. She's a only child. She has been part of it, out of it, the magic trick. She just learned for the first time from her mother that she has a family, that she wasn't adopted, and that she wasn't rejected and like an abused child. What she told everywhere in the press. There has been probably one of the last fight between her parents. After all of those years, the mother decided that she wanted to refill, recharge, and to go back to the roots, to her roots. And she's taking her daughter with. Probably the big part of the magic tricks happening for years is that her mother is a witch and that she's using her magic. Although so far the word of witch hasn't been used. Sandra, she obviously never suspected her mother, since she didn't say anything about her own family. They just arrived at her family in the countryside. And it seems pretty much that all of them are in the witchy business. They have an Airbnb, spa, wellness. So far, Sandra had a hard time, obviously, taking all of the information that was like in less than 24 hours was given by her mother. But she's not curious about her family. She thought she didn't have any family, and she doesn't have the curiosity to really stay and to get to know all of them. But I guess it's still part of the process of, well, this is big news. Little update on witch dust. I am 74.5% into it. And it's still a lot of, on my side, a wonder. And I would say a level of disappointment of how or why the daughter, Serenissima, so Sandra, why does she have such a strong reaction against or towards her mother's side of the family? She has decided to help them with their spa, wellness, or Airbnb, not Airbnb, more bed and breakfast, Sell it, market it towards haunted place, to use their witchy talent. She is not even close from being interested at knowing them as person first. Even if she has whatever issue with having abilities, it really feels like for her, being different, being able to do things that are unexplained, that are directly into the category of by society, woo-woo and crazy, that it's like as if it's a deadly sickness, that the longer she stays around, or if she's even interested the tiny bit, that she's going to catch it or that she's going to die. It keeps getting annoying for me, that rejection part. Again, the fact that she's not even curious to know who they are. What is their history? What is her history? Because this is her family. But she doesn't have any small, tiny curiosity about learning who they are, one person at a time. She rejects everyone. And she is, even close from being insulting um, for their ability, for the fact that they are different. It's really a matter of being different and of accepting that difference without any judgments, and that there is so much better that can be done with because you are more whole, obviously, than if you're rejecting it, and because it brings the element of being together, not necessarily as a family, but as a unity, as it's easier to understand, it's easier to go through things. So far, there has been an attack from, it's hard to tell if it's an opposite clan or if it's just some dark spirit. And we have a TV crew who's doing a documentary on the house. Crazy shit happening while the TV crew is there for the documentary. Obviously, there is a bunch of things happening. So far, that's all I can say. It doesn't make it pleasant to go through the whole storyline because of her attitude, that there is really no change, no slight opening at wanting to know more. And yeah, I just finished Witch Dust. Hopefully I didn't say Witch Hunt again. On the side of caring for the family, of wanting to know the family, it didn't get better from Sandra. It got way more complicated. I just gonna put it that way. The fact that the whole family, women, and all the power was gathered at one place towards some opposite faction, others. It didn't really make any sense. You kind of had an explanation of what things went down the drain and she lost completely control over everything, and it got crazier and crazier. But the explanation that was given from the opposite faction, even from the family itself, why it was her fault, that she shouldn't have stayed, that she is somehow the issue, is no close from being convincing. I'm sorry, I really couldn't care less about her. Her character is really not getting better, not improving. There is some use of abilities, let's just put it that way. The author barely used the word of witch into the conversation, into who they are and what they are doing. So it felt odd, but it felt like if it's something shameful to say. And that didn't feel right to me anyway. I will not keep reading just because I can't care less about her, Sandra, the character. There are a lot of stuff that are not properly explained. My rating for that one, I cannot, give more than 2.5. It wasn't a pleasant reading because of the character, because I was always expected some really good explanation, and it never came, and it was never satisfactory, and always a rejection and the rejection and the rejection. It wasn't pleasant and it was annoying. So sadly, Witch Dust, not a good one, but you know what? I'm glad because it's been a while that it was on my library and it's done. Do practicing in my imagination with the first one, Murder at the University, a gripping crime mystery full of twist by Faith Martin, as you can see on the screen. From the look of it, it's all building. This is in Cambridge or maybe another university in England. A teacher who's trying to get a specific position at the university. He may be a new one, but there is another one, another spot that really fits what he learned, what he wants to teach. And the position at the moment is occupied by a senior one who doesn't want to leave his position and who's doing a crappy job at teaching its students. And he is teaching quantum physics. He doesn't care anymore about teaching, even talking about quantum physics, but he's very much protected by the board of the university. And for that youngest teacher, let's just say that he is into between around he's 30 years old, the younger one. And actually, the teacher is the culprit one, is a woman. She's a young woman and she's from Scotland. I think I'd like that idea that I am going to keep that part of the Commonwealth. Oh, no, actually, no. We're going to branch out. She's from Australia. Let's put it way further, but still part of the Commonwealth. She's very much into the new steps, into the new open-minded philosophy. She knows, especially being in England, in Cambridge, that it's a very old mind system. So stretching too far with quantum physics, you see the stretching too far. She doesn't push that way. So the board doesn't want to let the older, the senior teacher out. He's really sticking to his position, but even all the students are not happy at all. They do not learn what they want to. They want to go into the quantum physics field, the one from the younger generation that they're teaching, but they cannot. The board, they know that senior professor for like ever, and they feel themselves threatened by the new generations and the new way of the quantum physics that it's been taught. So they refuse the students to switch classes or to switch programs or whatever. So it is completely affected down their marks and what they're learning. One night, it was one too many with the senior and hearing from the students complaining that she decides she's going to take matter into her own hands and that she's going to help that senior teacher to really get into retirement. She has decided to go with the medication that he's taking just because he is senior, older. So he is using medication. She's just gonna put some into his tea mixed with a specific plant that she's using herself for medication purposes, but it's coming from Australia, and that she's using, like, she managed to bring it to England, like, under the table. But it's a plant that, again, depending on the dosage and depending on the condition, the health condition of someone, can be tricky. So she kind of still looked into the medication that the guy is taking, the senior teacher, and with the plan that she wants to mix everything together, because remember, she doesn't want to kill him. She just wants to make him go, help him go into retirement. Like, she doesn't have any problem if he has to go to the hospital. Let's just put it that way. Maybe not in intensive care, but maybe he is so weak that he cannot get up when it's time to teach. It doesn't taste anything, the plant that she's using, that can help health. But it's not helping if you have specific health condition, that is exactly what he has. Yeah, I don't know, something like that for the story. You know what? Because it's in Cambridge, so the old high-ranked university in England. Over the centuries, many people had died, so they're full of spirits and ghosts existing there. And actually, Murder at the University, it's just one. It's I don't know that if it's one ghost, or I have a feeling that it's a few of them who had really bad experience, who are over the centuries, some students or some workers or some teachers that for one reason or another killed themselves, that got killed for reasons that are really surrounding the teaching, the knowledge, the university, the ground of the university itself. Every July 23rd, that it's a night and it's a day as well. where the university has noticed higher number of suicides or deadly accidents that are happening on the ground of the university, all caused by spirits or ghosts, but vengeful ones. The camera shut, so I missed a lot of what I said. You have to understand with all those deaths that are suicide look like, or they're freaky accident, but it can be like massive, like very disgusting ones. But there are never any trace behind, and it's always very, 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 very believable and possible that they are a freaky accident or a suicide. What happened is that it's gonna be a teacher, a classic English literature teacher. It's not the right order to say it, but it's gonna make it that she's gonna be the one who's gonna investigate it. First, she herself came back from a freaky accident. After that accident, her freaky accident, that she can see energy like ghost and spirits. So she can see like the aura and the form and the shape. How can she convince a prestigious school and very, I'm guessing, narrow-minded and old school like Cambridge about that you can see energy and that you can see ghosts and spirits? Good luck with that. Before going back teaching, after her accident, she is on July 23rd. She's on the land of the property. She just got out of the administration section building, and she's gonna see at the corner of her eye like a mass of energy, but she like not really thinking more or like cannot really explain. And when she's gonna hear about the death, she's gonna wonder, ask questions, and there's gonna be 5 that happened that day, that July 23rd. And but she still, it's not that day the only day that it's the only one that she can see spirits and ghosts. She can see them all the time. It's just they are killing on that specific date. Yes, so she's gonna, investigate and try to make to bring justice and whatever. But remember, because it said that crime mystery full of twist. So the twist is that she died actually, but at the freaky accident, but her determination and her will of living and keep living was so strong that she managed to kind of embody her energy, strong enough form of energy to be kind of physical and material. So she can hold paper or pen or a little bit of stuff, but really not that much. But people are not necessarily questioning it. And her clothing is always the same one that she had her for the accident. But it's going to come by itself in her mind when it's questioned that, oh, it's the same thing that she was wearing, that is going to come by herself, that she's going to say like this, not even thinking about it, is that, oh, she has a multiple because she loved them so much. And since it's after the accident, people are not really questioning, like thinking that it's weird or whatever, because it's just they don't really care. So that's twist of the story. Oh man, I like that. I like that. Murder at the University by Faith Martin. And I just starting to talk, and my black cat had decided that she doesn't want to stay that close from the action of me talking. It was fast-paced. We are definitely in London, but it was in Oxford. And it's part of the series following DI, which I think it's a detective. Green, her name is. She is older in the task force, and she's apparently very good at her job. And she ended up with investigating the death of a young French girl, 19 years old. She has been found in her room, the apartment. It could be a suspicious death. They found a syringe close to her arm, and there's a possible mark on the arm. So maybe suicide, maybe use of drug. First, is it suicide? Hasn't been murder. And the more that she's digging up about that young French girl who is attending on scholarship, total scholarship, the mystery is getting bigger and bigger. So for the majority of the time, I do agree that your thoughts are that her death might be related to her extra curriculum activity, if you know what I mean. From a specific list of 6 different possible suspects that are connected to her, the French girl dead, the investigator and her team are gonna try to find out which one of them may have killed her or not. So you really think that it's around that. Even if for me, I thought that, that would be too easy. It would be way more interesting if actually there is someone else, someone that they are not suspecting, someone out of the specific list. The writing for that book, you have description of characters because you are following them from one book after the other. This is the second. I didn't know. But you are really not left on the side at wondering what really happened. You have kind of a sum up, I guess, of what happened in the first one. So it's really not a bother. You can really jump into that one and probably in any of the next ones. Coming close to the end, I really did appreciate it that the reason for the death was completely different. Obviously, it's like the big thing, the majority, because of her extracurriculum activity that she was doing, that it is linked to this or it is not linked to this. So it's like one or the other. And it's definitely something that you couldn't have seen coming towards the end, at the same time that the investigator is explaining to her chief, her superior. Yes. The situation and for what she had found out, you start to see things unraveling and where the direction and how it could have possibly become. I think it's a strong 4 stars. I like it. I really did like it. It's something that I will definitely try to keep reading just because with what happened in the first installment, so the previous one, related to her dead husband of the investigator, the detective, is very intriguing. So very far from the 2 possible stories that I gave you. And even if I really did enjoy a lot, like I said, I would have liked to read and see through the story that I gave you with the teacher who can see spirits. Last book, To Coach a Killer, because you get the joke that with To Coach to Catch, by Victoria Laurie. So it doesn't say more than that. A New York Times best-selling author. I would say that right now, what is coming to me, and I don't know if it's the fun story or not, but the first one is that actually the woman is the killer and the guy wanted to catch her, but he couldn't. He failed, and obviously he's dead. So she is just observing behind those big glass windows the storm that is way too much advanced, and that it's gonna be very difficult to stay in the house because it's really too close from the edge and too close from those huge waves, look like even tsunami one. She is very calm inside because she knows that she's going to have to face the storm, but to get rid of that man, of that body. And as she's looking at the waves, she said that, you know what, like that, it's going to be actually the perfect opportunity to get rid of the body of the man in the ocean, because it's super easy for someone to slip and to be taken by waves in the ocean and to die. But only there is a problem is that he's not dead drowning. He doesn't have salty water in his lungs, meaning that he drowned, or it could be not salty, but if it's found in the ocean, that's why you think that it's salty water. So if she wants to make that happen and to be believable, she's thinking of how is she going to make that happen, which is going to be pretty much difficult because what the picture is not showing us is that she slit his throat. So it's going to be difficult to make that into a drowning thing. What she starts to think is at a different plan. That's why she's thinking about when she's looking at that. And she's very composed. She doesn't seem to be panicking or whatsoever. And actually, what she's deciding to do is to wait for the storm to pass, to be over. And she's going to burn the cabin completely to the ground. During all this time that she's going to wait for the storm to pass, she's going to be reminiscent of the time with that man because she knew him. He is actually a colleague. He's a real what's the name again? A realister. Anyway, he's selling house just like hers. Remember that the title is to coach actually a killer. It's because it turned out that the killer, had spent some time at teaching him to kill others. So there is another joke with to coach a killer. I am so much into the one that I said that I would like actually to read that. That's going to be a tough one. Oh, okay. So it could be that as well, that actually it's a rehearsal. It's a rehearsal. That's what it is. She has accepted to coach him to, I don't know why I want to stay with the real estate with selling house. If I've never be able to say that word properly. So those are the people who are selling houses. Okay. It's going to be clear. And she has a lot of huge tips and tricks, but are so effective because she's the best one. She's the number one on the Pacific coast. What she doesn't know is that she's going to give him some coaching about that, but she doesn't know that he is a killer. And the time they're going to spend there at this cabin, which is his cabin, he's not that much of a good seller, and yet he has this wonderful house high above a cliff, but it's just a huge hurricane, whatever, that is coming in. So you can see that well, those tall and huge waves crashing. She's going to wonder how he got the money to get all of this because she knows that he doesn't make as much as she does, like way not. He's single, has never been married. He's not, it's not a family wealth either or inheritance that he may have. So there are some questions there. And throughout the time of the storm passing by, that she's going to coach him, they're going to talk. And she's going to realize that he is a killer. He was actually, it's been a few years that he hasn't killed anyone and that he wanted to change his life, hence going into selling houses. For her, like, it's even if you stopped killing like 50 years ago, you're still a killer. You kill people, even if it was somehow justified or not. Could she use the storm as an opportunity to get rid of the guy? Because she doesn't want to be caught. That's the story. I'm very curious to see where it's going to go, frankly. I just started just like a few pages this morning. And I can kind of already say that it's really not what I thought, what I gave you, the two possible storylines. But you never know. Although there is a mention of one of the character inside that his wife has been killed, and she was real estate agent, so not that far from it. So it's more about following, forgot her name, Catherine. I think she's a life coach. And she's a life coach, and she has a business in the Hamptons, I think. And she just got a client, William, Willem, who came to, well, pretty much desperate because he says that he's cursed. When he was close, well, when her mother was close to get birth to him, she got rid of a very reluctant tenant that she had in the building that she had at that time. And that specific tenant, people were saying that she was a gypsy. And when she was put on the street for some specific reasons, she cursed his mother and therefore himself while he was in her room. And he's giving her throughout his years, and he must be under 30 years old, all of the big, major incident, catastrophic things happening pretty much everywhere that he's going, to prove Kat, the life coach, that he is really cursed and he needs some help because he wants to socialize with others. She's working with a friend. I forgot his name. Is going to come back next time. And he had some experience or work experience with other friends for a little while. Psychic mediums facing dark energies and dark entities and that kind of stuff. So they are trying now to figure out if he is indeed cursed and how to get rid of the curse. So far, this is the only thing I can tell you. But you know what? I really did enjoy it. I'm very curious to see where it's going to go. Do you see the happiness and the satisfaction on my face? It was an interesting ride. Let me try to see, because it's, I would put in the category of cozy mystery, but definitely a mystery. We're dealing with the death of a real estate agent before, maybe another time later. There is a mix-up with some Chechen mafia, with some possible ancient previous bad guy turning into good guy, becoming informant for the FBI. Not love story, but more triangle sex stories. Who killed the cop's ex-wife, the real estate agent, and mostly the why. And there is a, what would be the right word? A head assassin that is kind of always in the mix around, that might come back to try to kill again Catherine or not. So yeah, this is all what I'm gonna say. But it was an interesting ride. I liked the dynamic that has been created between the main character, Catherine, who is the life coach, and her best friend, Gillespie, or Gile. Oh, I don't know between, how do you say in French and English? Obviously, so it's a cozy mystery. It's more like they are acting as sleuth, trying to resolve what really happened, and getting more and more involved and getting deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. But the dynamic was good between them. The dynamic of the dialogues between them too. It was funny, but at the right time, it wasn't like forcing to be funny or unnecessary to act at playing funny. And you had some good time with some thrill and some action. And even towards the end, I was very surprised. I was satisfied about the ending. It's a part of a series. So To Coach a Killer is the second of the series, and it's definitely not finished. And I can say that I might consider looking for maybe the first one to catch up with what happened before, definitely to keep reading, at least for the next one, the third one, to have an idea. My rating is a 4.5. I was surprised that I don't know. I think it happened maybe 3 times for a cozy mystery to have a high score level of rating. It's very weird. And I want to say that remember the 2 different storylines that I pitched you of imagining what could be the story based on the cover design and the title. Well, let me tell you that my assumptions, my imagination wasn't too far off. Oh, that's so to wrap
Cool.
up that first TBR, guess the cover, guess the story from the cover. Oh man, and I really did enjoy that, really guessing the story and see where it can goes. Reading afterwards the book, obviously, and see how close or far I am. And once again, that I was on the 3 books that have one that was super close to what I guessed. That was really funny. It's definitely something that I'm gonna do other times. The same practice exercise, and as an author and having imagination, I love doing that. It's really fun, and I hope that you had some fun as well to hear about possibilities of the story, and then see discovering possible new bedside table book for you. Thank you so much for watching the video, sharing, subscribing. It helped me reach the 222 subscribers. I will redo once again another time. That's kind of TBR, just because it's really fun practice. And I see you next time with another TBR.